Morning, folks. Today is Monday, bright and early in the morning. Decided this was the soap to go with. This is Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. This is Bailey's. This is the Crown King version, not the CK6 in other words. And it is this is a really nice scent. That's what it looks like there on the inside. And it really does. It smells fantastic. If you're a coffee drinker and if you're familiar with Bailey's coffee creamer, at one point in time, Walmart used to carry it, and I used to pick it up there, and it's one of those things where you have a little bit of coffee with your creamer. At least that's the way I drink it. Some of the scents you might be able to pick up off of this is of course, coffee, the cream, the liquor, the vanilla, and butterscotch, the whiskey, all that sort of stuff. And it is really, for me, it's a nice scent. I like it. If I read the website correctly, the awesome scent. If I read the website correctly, I think this is only supposed to be available until, if I don't knock it over, until the end of March. In other words, today's what, 2nd, I guess it is? 21st, 22nd? Anyway, in other words, we're down towards the end of March, so you only got a few more days just to pick this up. If you're a coffee drinker, I think you'll probably appreciate this scent. If not, you might actually, anyway, if you like, say, like for instance, food type scents. But boy, howdy, this, it really does. This smells great. Really nice. I like it. It's great for my nose. I have it whipped up here in a small lathering bowl, and it's pretty wet. Yeah, just almost drippy. Which you can kind of see, yeah, there, it's moving. It's fairly wet. And yeah, that's what it whips up at. It's a little bit on the chocolate side. And this particular brush is kind of, let me get turned around here. This is, if the light will catch it, this is a Shaven Sailor. And it has a cashmere knot, and I put the knot in there myself. You can pick these handles up for about $11.99, $12 without a knot in it. And you can get it in black, red, blue, and white. And it comes in two different versions in that this center part right here can be what is referred to as smooth, or you can get one that's twisted. And for $12 for a handle, 3D printed, that's pretty inexpensive. I've got a link down below if you want to check out Steven's website there. He's got soap also, of course, but I really like these handles. I've got a total of 4. I don't have a white one, but I got 2 red ones. One's twisted and one's not. But I really like those handles. They're pretty nice. Very unique. You can kind of see I guess you might say, yeah, you can kind of see how the uniqueness of how the handle's been printed. And I like it. I think it looks pretty cool. At least for me, that's one of those things that appealed to me. Shaver of the day. Blackland Sabre takes a gem blade. This one here is going to be the PTFE, in other words, the Teflon coated, and this shaver is not inexpensive. This is not a Wishi. I had 4 Wishis at one point in time. I piffed one of them. The 3 Wishis I have are all short handled and got different coatings on them, whatnot. Picked them up right around, I think I paid closer to $15 for the black one. I've got the PVD one. But the other 2 I think is closer to $10 to $11. Pretty inexpensive, get great shaves with them. But if you're looking for something that is a family heirloom that you can pass on from one generation to the next, this right here just might be what you're looking for. A little bit on the specs. It comes with 2 different base plates. One's got a 1 dot, of course the other one's got a 2 dot, and those dots are on the underside. So I'll try not to forget, but I'll take it apart at the end of the shave and show you where the dots are at, what it looks like there on the base plate. But you can order it with 2 base plates. You can polished or machined, finished, just, in other words, just however well, how far north you want to go in your price, as well as a stand that goes with it. I think they refer to it as an inkwell. I have to say that that shaver there, it is awesome. I've got the 2 dot plate, and it shaves pretty smooth to me. This one here came to me, by the way, Stephen Sprague was kind enough to send this to me, and I really enjoy it. Now, I already put a hot towel to the face this morning on the pre-shave, and I'm going to use the Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Christmas pre-shave soap here. But got to thinking, you know, when you first look at them, $185 as cheap as you can go, inexpensive as you can go, and then it just goes north from there. And that's not chump change. It's not a Wishi price at $185. But the more I got to thinking about it, in other words, to look at it from a different point of view, a different way of looking at it, get this wet here, is that when you start breaking things down, like the blades, the shaver, the blades, I got a link down below. You can get a 100 pack for 21 bucks. And so that figures out after you divide it up and how much each blade costs and how many shaves you get at each blade. And if you approach it the same way with the shaver, in other words, you divide among 365 days. In other words, if you use it as a daily shaver, how much is it costing you per day? And I think, it's around 50 cents or so a day to have what I would consider a family heirloom, something that you could pass on to the next generation. And in other words, it's going to last your lifetime going into the next if you take good care of it. In other words, don't let it rust and so on and so forth. It's a really nice shaver, especially if you're in that line of enjoying using gem style blades. Excuse me. And once I kind of look at it like that $185 price point, or $255, or whatever it happens to work out for you dollar wise, it really starts to 50 cents or more a day for a year. I start looking at the total price a lot different, and thinking that this is going to last me the rest of my life. And once you start factoring that in, it becomes pretty inexpensive, especially if you're using a cartridge and how much you're paying, you're paying for that, and you're chucking it in the trash, and you're keeping this shaver, and the only thing you're getting rid of is the blade after it's been used. So in other words, once you start looking at it like that, a little bit different look at it, and instead of the initial sticker shock, when you look over long term, it's a pretty good buy. Long lasting item. It's like I say, family heirloom, something you could pass on. And I don't see that it's really going to lose a whole lot of value even at that, at least not in my opinion. It's a really nice shaver. Got the Blackland dart. It's well built. It's like I say, it reminds me of a pickup truck. A lot of utility, a lot of use, holds its resale value. At least that's the way I look at it. And this particular shaver here is just really nice. But like I say, that first initial dollar amount, it's not a Wishi price, that's for sure. It's not 10 or 15 bucks. But like I say, when you start looking at it long term, something that you might be using every day for the rest of your life, yeah, it works out to being a lot better, picture, I guess you might say. Different way of looking at it. Yeah, you can kind of see that it's fairly wet. Yeah, I got this one right on the money. I like my leather to be pretty wet, moist, slickness. Not that Phoenix Artisan Accoutrement soaps don't have any problem with being slick. They're slick enough, but it's just a habit I got into, because most of my shaving early on was with the Shavette, so slickness was king. Still is, even with one of these. Like I say, there is 2 plates. This one here, I think the aggressiveness they rated as, I did write it down because I figured I'd forget, 5.5 out of 10. And the 1 dot plate is 4 out of 10 is what they rated as in way of aggressiveness. So to help give you some idea, I kind of feel like this is, even with the 2 dot plate, is still a fairly smooth shaver. You're going to have just a little bit on the blade feel, but nothing over the top. Nothing that would alarm you right off the bat, just the real eye opener first thing in the morning. It really depends if you're really into using gem blades, if you really enjoy using them. Those single edge blades they do shave different. And of course, one of the things that might make a big difference for you also is the angle that you use. Whether you're going to ride that cap or you're going to tilt it up just a bit. But for me, yeah, I could use this as a daily shaver, no doubt. It is a lot of fun to use for me. Oh, yes, weight. It's not a lightweight. Let's see here, just over 5 ounces, including the cap, in the way of grams. I think it's 144 grams. The length of the handle is just under, 3.5 inches in length. 85 millimeters, there you go. If you're kind of wondering. And as well as they do sell, in other words, if you buy one plate and later on, oh gosh, I wish I bought both plates. Well, you can still order the other plate separate, as well as the handle. As it goes for Blackland, I have, back when they first started, I can remember when I saw in other words, the little blurb about, the startup and whatnot, it has always been, how can you say, on that interest list. At least for me, it's just been a very, the Blackbird, in other words, he's just a cool looking shaver. Something that'll last your lifetime. So in other words, they do offer the DE. The Vector, I think, takes the Artist Club style blades. So in other words, they got DE, the single edge in the way of Artist Club blades, style blades, as well as then the gem there. That's they pretty well got it covered. Boy, the shaving cream, well, but it is really nice. It's like a cream. When I was looking at the weather around here yesterday, my wife was complaining about it and thought it was kind of funny. Early on in the forecast, it only showed one day this week with rain, which she was okay with. And then the next time she looks at it, there's like 3 or 4 days that show that you might get rain. She wasn't too happy with that. In other words, when she goes to see her patients, in other words, she does quite a bit of driving, so driving in the rain is not one of her favorite things. Like I said, with the 2-dot plate, I can still feel the blade feel is there, but it's not over the top. It's still, in my opinion, still relatively smooth. Now yesterday, in the last video, I shaved with the Focus Dynamic, which is, some people probably would consider it the mildest shaver on the planet. It's a pretty mild shaver. But for me, for my growth, there was not an excessive amount of growth from yesterday coming into this morning. So as it goes for being efficient, this one here, going in tomorrow morning, probably won't have a whole lot that will be there for me to shave off. But on the other hand, also a milder shaver, I don't end up with a huge amount of growth. There's enough there that you know that you quote unquote need to shave. With most of my hair being gray or white, not a whole lot of black left, in other words, quite a bit will have to be out there before somebody actually can see it. For me, I know it's there because I can feel it, but just depends on how old you are, huh? My younger days, my beard used to be, it'd have some black in it, but it was more reddish brown. in my younger days. The brown would have a red tint to it. I think they refer to it in hair of highlights. I'm not sure. As you can tell, hair is not a big, hasn't been a big thing for me for a while. A while back, somebody asked me if I would like to, go through one of those places where they put the hair back on your top of your head, put plugs in and whatnot. Tell them it's been so long since I had hair. I think I'm okay without it now. Face it, I've got wash and wear hair. What I was going to mention before I forget, one of the things I didn't do before I started the video is the star jelly. I don't know if this particular flavor is in the star jelly. In other words, instead of using the aftershave, you get the star jelly. I think star jelly usually runs about 15 bucks. The aftershave runs about 25, so in other words, you save yourself about 10 bucks if you don't do the bundle, for instance. I have used some samples of star jelly. And it's pretty good. I was kind of surprised. And I do have Diver, was it? Diver, I think I've got it in the star jelly. I also got the shaving stick I plan on using at some point in time in the future. If you're not too terribly familiar with the gem blades, I would, not only would I use this blade that's Teflon coated, there's other blades out there that you can use, but I think you're going to find that the Teflon coated one is the one that'll work best for you. And I would start with the one dot plate. In other words, I wouldn't start with the two until you get yourself, I guess you might say, acclimated to using a gem blade. That single edge blade is a thicker blade than a DE blade, so the shave feel is going to be different. I probably would pay very close attention at the beginning of your shave. In other words, the pre-shave routine. I would give that a lot of consideration on what you do. Right now I'm using Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements, the pre-shave soap, and depending on what school of thought you're from, I also would consider using a pre-shave oil, and Deconic's pre-shave oil is pretty nice. I would, of the ones that I have used in the way of pre-shave oil, I would consider it's probably one of the better ones on the market, at least for me it is. What it does for my face in a way of not only for the pre-shave, during the shave, but also though it seems to make a difference on the post-shave. And I really do like it. But I think that also is going to make a difference, not only with what kind of lather you whip up, but your shave feel with a gem blade. To me, that was one of the key things that made a big difference in my shave when I was first starting out, is once I figured out what kind of shave pre-shave routine works best for me. And once I figured that out, my shaves did go a lot better. In the beginning, I didn't think I needed a quote-unquote pre-shave routine. And then I decided just to give it a try. In other words, try it out, see how it works for you. And I started out with the hot towel, which made a difference, and then with the pre-shave soaps and the oils and whatnot, there's different ways you can go with it. Found out that for me it did make a difference, but my skin is not young. It's seen a lot of sun. It's been around a moment. So it just really depends on, I think, your skin sometimes, whether how much of a pre-shave routine or what you're needing in your shave. And for me, I found out that the hot towel made a world of difference, as well as some of the pre-shave. The soaps help out somewhat. As it goes for post-shave, for me, the oils, I've noticed more of the oil on the post-shave than I do on the pre-shave soap. So eventually, I don't think I'm going to make it through the end of the soap, where I'll go back to the pre-shave oil, because once we get closer to the summer, sometimes the pre-shave oil helps my face out somewhat. A little bit of stinging this morning, right back here. Did think I got the pressure off just a tad bit off back there, but I don't see any weepers or anything like that. It didn't feel like I was getting any of that in the during the shave. Sometimes I can kind of tell when I'm shaving when I'm going to end up with a weeper or not. I guess you might say I'm also, in a way, one of those guys. I don't shave here, haven't shaved here forever and a day, well past 20 years. So as it goes for, you know, how's it performed there, can't really speak to it, and don't plan on shaving this off anytime soon. It's just one of those things that facial hair has been part of my life for a good long moment, and yeah, I just plan on keeping it. All right, aftershave, Bailey's. And of course, most of you probably already know, that's Chris Bailey right there. This name kind of works right into it. And the restrictor is not plastic, it is part of the glass container there. And was it 3.4 ounces, 100 milliliters. All right, we're going to be smelling good this morning. I am glad to see him come out with this, because they quit making Spring Hill Jack, and that's another one that is like a coffee scent, and I really like that one. That is a really nice scent. I did get one. I don't have the soap, but I do have the aftershave, and I really like that scent. It is awesome. Had a great shave. Fantastic. Oh, almost forgot. Okay, here we go. Take it apart. The post is different than your typical post. As you can kind of tell as I'm taking it apart, it is flat, and it does have threads. That's what that looks like there. That's on the underside of the base plate. And let's see here. Yeah, it's going to stick in there. And that's what it looks like there with the blade inside. Go ahead, and that soap kind of held it right there in place. Create a little bit of suction right there. And go ahead and clean off a little bit of that on my shirt. There, right there, you can kind of see the two dots. So that's what I was referring to in the way of the 2-dot plate. And it's, like I say, it's well made. It's built to last. And on the underside, that's what the underside looks like. You can kind of see the recessed area here for the spine of the blade goes right there. There's your two posts. Those two posts will fit right into there. The center post goes right through the center of the blade. Like I say, for me, it's well made. I like it. It's an awesome shaver. Fantastic shave this morning. I can go a little bit long. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay healthy, stay safe, and smooth shaves to you.